Hello everybody, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening depending on where you are in this amazing world. My name is Donovan Jolly, and welcome everybody once again for another amazing video of DIY investing. For today's video, I wanted to share with you guys the big picture market cycle of Bitcoin, analyzing how it compares to the stock market and what we've seen across a 100-year market cycle in the S&P 500. And then we're also going to be diving into what I actually think is going to be playing out from us today. We finally got a breakout from our most recent downtrend. After over a 50% correction, we have finally broken from our descending resistance. This is what I believe is going to signal the early reversal point before we start seeing new all-time highs and finally go into the blow-off top of this cycle. If you're new and just finding this channel, always remember to do me a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. Always remember to click that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos like the one provided for you here. And make sure you guys sign up and join the Discord server of over 21,000 members and growing. Links are in the description for you guys that want to join my community and sign up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, let's jump right into this amazing video today. Alrighty guys, so what we're going to be starting off talking about with Bitcoin is simply just this most recent breakout that we've been seeing. I've been drawing this descending resistance for a little while now, talking about the potential of this being a breakout. Now, I did draw this descending resistance two different ways, and it doesn't really matter what way you look at it because it's kind of both pointing towards the same direction. Now, originally how I had this drawn was that this was the breakout and that this was us retesting it as support. Now, you can draw it that way. I think it's a little bit more likely at this point that if you draw the descending resistance over this way, I think that this is a much more logical area to target for a breakout. Normally speaking, whenever a market breaks a downtrend and then it sells off, if it goes for one more leg lower, normally it would bounce right here and then go up. The fact is, when we actually ended up flipping that level, because we didn't really, we made it out past this level, but then when we sold off to retest it, we didn't actually bounce. We actually sold off once again. So whenever you see back-to-back sell-offs after a supposed breakout of a descending resistance, that's generally just not a descending resistance, and it's not a breakout. And so when we draw it over like this, we can see that we've had so many different attempts at a breakout of this level. We've hit it a number of different times. Even right here, we got stuffed, but that was just a false bear trap, and now we're actually breaking out from that once again. And so assuming that everything's going to hold like it already is, assuming that this is only going to keep trending up, we have finally got that breakout from our descending resistance. And so this is a very bullish sign. This is exactly what we were watching for if we're actually going to be reversing out of this correction, right? Now, if we also come over here and look at the RSI, I like whenever you get two different data points that are converging and telling you guys the same thing. So once again, we have the descending resistance. We knew that as long as price is below this, that we're going to be bearish and expecting new lows. Well, we finally broke outside of this, so this is technically a reversal of this downtrend, assuming that prices are going to keep doing what they're doing right now. Well, we also get the same confirmation over here on the RSI. We had lower lows and lower highs. In fact, the RSI has been in resistance since all the way up here. We actually were making lower highs all the way since back up at this point in the RSI. And so that was our early signal that, hey, the buyers are becoming exhausted. It's more likely we're going to start correcting. And that's why we see this entire period of time where the RSI will bounce back up and then it'll reject. It'll hit this resistance and then it'll reject. And we have finally got a breakout from that level. This is exactly what we needed to see. Not only are we get confirmation from the price breaching this descending resistance, but we're also seeing the RSI actually flipping this as support and then getting continuation. So the RSI is actually one step ahead of the price, right? Where the price was still below this resistance, the RSI was already flipping it as support, and this was your early signal that the trend has in fact shifted. And so I think that this is ultimately going to get us into new all-time highs once this correction is over, which, you know, this is the early signs that it could be over right now. Whenever you start to see the breakouts of that descending resistance, and then you're also getting the RSI lining up as well, I think that that's going to be two really big indicators that are lining up for the same thesis. And so I think it's likely that we're going to end up finding the bottom where we're at, and this is going to be breaking up. But the big level that we need to break above, in my opinion, is really 40,500 to 41,000. That's the level that I'm watching for. We really need to get back above that, which is going to be about here approximately. That's what I'm watching for. We're pretty much right at that resistance level. We need to get a move above that. Even if we pull back where we're at right now, we retest this black box. and then we get continuation above this, I don't really care. That's definitely something that can happen. So don't be surprised if we get a little bit of a pullback here. But if this green candle ends up turning into a big wick where the prices drop all the way back down and start closing back around this black line, then obviously I would expect that's going to be a bearish retest, and then we would get one more final leg lower that would take us back down to that $29,000 support level. So just keep in mind, guys, that even though we are technically outside of this resistance, we really need the prices to get back above this green level. If we can get back above the green level, in my opinion, that's what signals the reversal point for us to go back up into another new all-time high. If this turns into a rejection wick, we start closing back below this resistance, I would expect one more leg lower to 29,000, where we would actually retest all the way back down to the bottom of the support. It doesn't really matter what happens. To me, it doesn't change what's happening big picture. Big picture, this market structure will create another blow off top. I've been very adamant about telling you guys that. I'm once again sticking to the same analysis. You guys maybe wonder once again why I haven't uploaded in a week. I've been uploading once a week on average about this point, and it's just simply because there's nothing to talk about. We already know where we're at inside of my trading plan. I've already told you guys and have been very adamant about speaking that I'm going to be holding throughout this entire correction because I believe that even if this goes for one more leg lower, even if we go all the way to 29,000, even if this makes a short-term lower low like this, I still believe that this is ultimately going to create one more final rally in this cycle. We just simply aren't done, and the Elliott waves are showing that. We've only ever had a wave 1. We've only ever had a wave 3. This is wave 4. We still have wave 5 to come. And so when people are saying that the bear market is in, this is just consolidation before we go lower all the way to 10,000, these people are going to look really dumb. I'm very confident that this thing is going to be breaking out. We're going to go well above past $100,000 per Bitcoin. Once again, my targets have always been 200, 250. Really, it was 250 to 300K, and that's still what my targets are. The only thing that's changed is just the length of time that it's taking to get there. But I've always told you guys, the longer the accumulation, the greater the expansion, right? And what I always like to share with you guys was when we went back to Ethereum and even back here in Bitcoin, but more specifically Ethereum. Back when the whole market was pretty much just going sideways, Ethereum was stuck between $80 and $300 for like 2 years, basically. It was during that period of time that I kept telling people, because of the length of time it's taking for Ethereum to break out, because we've been going sideways for like 2 years, I said that once we do break out, because of the length of time it took to get to that breakout, when the breakout happens, it's going to be very big. And that's just a rule of thumb. The longer that the accumulation takes, the accumulation is taking longer to create a bigger expansion. There's so much money inside of this market today compared to prior cycles, and this was something that I was naive in thinking and not actually planning ahead for. Because there's so much more money inside of this market than ever before, we're sitting at $1 trillion in market cap approximately. It takes a lot more time to move the prices up that high. To get that same type of parabolic push, it takes more time. And so this is something that I've realized over the course of this consolidation, and it's something that hasn't really changed my plan. The only thing that's changed is just the length of time that it's taking to get to that final move. Now, what I wanted to share with you guys was actually the S&P 500 index. And the reason I wanted to share this one with you guys is because Bitcoin is at the exact same point that this one was at just, a decade ago. When Bitcoin was created, we were actually going through the 2008 financial crisis, and that's what this entire consolidation was. Here we have the Iraq War, we invade Afghanistan or whatever it was, we have this big correction, we find support, and then we rally all the way back up, reject at those same new all-time highs, and then we get the financial crisis in 2008, where the prices just collapse and make this big capitulation. In fact, that capitulation took us below support, right? We had this big capitulation event that took us below support, shook out all the weak hands, and that's what took us into that final move that we're in today. Now, guys, this is really interesting because not only is Bitcoin making the same consolidation pattern that the S&P 500 made way back in the day, but we're also seeing the Elliott waves lining up at the same point. Now, I'm going to draw the Elliott waves here. This is wave 1. This was our first major market cycle. This was the Great Depression right here, this major sell-off. That was the completion of wave 2. And then we went into this massive wave 3, which was from 1932 all the way until 2008, right? And really we would draw it like this. Wave 1, wave 3, wave 4, and now we're working on wave 5. Now, because we're in wave 5, I do believe that this is going to be the top of the entire market cycle of not just crypto, but the stock market. This is the average index of the top 500 stock companies in the stock market, right? And so this is just the average of all of the biggest companies in the stock market. We have already finished wave 1, wave 2, we finished wave 3, wave 4. Wave 4 was literally the 2008 financial crisis. We saw this big correction that we saw here, A, B, C. And then that's what took us into this final wave 5. Now, I'm not going to sit here and try and call the top. I do believe this will most likely keep trending up from here. I don't know where the top of this wave 5 will be. This thing could keep going up for another 10 to 20 years. It's hard to say exactly, but what we come over here and see, we've had declining volume ever since the 2008 financial crisis. So during this entire period where we're seeing the prices making new all-time highs, we're seeing this making lower lows and lower highs in the volume. This is major divergence, guys. What we're seeing is the top of a 100-year cycle. Even though it's not right now, and I think we go up a little bit higher, this is coming to the completion of the cycle. We're seeing major divergence, declining volume, inclining price. You also see the same bearish divergence on the RSI as well. Higher highs, lower highs on the RSI. There's a lot of bearish signals that are showing that this is going to be completed very soon. I'm not disagreeing that this can't go on another 10 years because it most definitely can. But what we're seeing here, guys, is the topping of a cycle. Now, the reason why I'm sharing with you guys and comparing it to Bitcoin is because of the Elliott waves. This is a wave 1, wave 2, and a wave 3, and wave 4. Where Bitcoin is at today is right here. We are just completing this 4-wave correction. In fact, Bitcoin is really closer back towards over here. We're finishing the very bottom of this 4-wave correction before this takes us to our wave 5 in this cycle. And that's why I've been trying to share that with you guys. If we look on a log scale, we've only ever finished wave 1, wave 3, and now we still need wave 5, right? And so when I look at this chart, this looks very, very much the same is what we're seeing today inside of the S&P 500 and really what we saw a decade ago. It's that same sort of triangle correction structure that we see here. Over here we get the top A, B, and then C. And that's what took us to that final rally in that cycle. This is the same thing that we're seeing today inside of Bitcoin. And it's happening at the same point. The only difference here is the S&P went for a lower low. I don't think Bitcoin's going to make a lower low. This is just a different type of consolidation. But the Elliott waves are all the same. And that's the big point I'm trying to make here. Until we get this 5-wave impulse, I don't think it's smart to sell. I still think that it's smarter to hold throughout this period, even though the time frames are wrong. My entire plan was structured around the end of the year selling. Well, the end of the year was right here. Does it look like I was going to sell right there? Of course not. I was willing to hold throughout this period because I firmly believe that this is going to create one more final move before this cycle is over. And so I might not upload as much because, once again, guys, I don't need to sit here and talk about the same thing over and over and over again. This structure is one that will complete a blow off top. We still aren't to that blow off top quite yet. I have a number of cycles I can share with you guys that have created this exact same type of market cycle. The S&P 500 is the one that I like to look at the most because this 4-wave consolidation looks exactly the same. There's almost no difference here. If we look back to what happened, this is ultimately what took place after that consolidation. Bitcoin is literally right here. We're at the very end of this consolidation before the final blow off top in this move. I don't think the S&P 500 is topping. I still think this one's going to have a big move to the upside. We could very easily see this thing at 10,000 before the end of this 100-year cycle. But the big thing to understand here is Bitcoin is right here. Bitcoin is about to be going into this final move. This is why we need to be holding throughout this period, because when this takes place, Bitcoin at 200K is going to seem real crazy. But really, guys, it's not going to be that crazy if you already understood the big picture. We still have this final move still coming, and that's why I'm still holding to my guns. Now, guys, I wanted to give you guys one final... Now, guys, before we wrap up this video, I wanted to share with you guys an NFT project that I think is actually going to be one of the most undervalued, some that provides some of the bigger gains inside of the cycle. I shared with you guys this in my last video, and this is actually Wheelies. Wheelies is an animated NFT cartoon where the actual NFT characters are going to be inside of the cartoon series. Now, the reason why I think that this one's so undervalued is simply because of the artist who created the Wheelies, and this is actually a project that's been 30 years in the making. Now, Miguel Paredes is actually the person who created the Wheelies, and Miguel Paredes is a world-famous artist. artist. In fact, he hosted Art Basel in Miami. And so this guy has over 774,000 followers on Instagram. There's a ton of people that are seeing his work. And because of that, I think that Wheelies has a huge opportunity for being one of those NFT projects that takes off in a really big way. And so if you guys are interested in looking into NFTs and you guys are looking for an undervalued NFT project, this is the one that I'm personally the most interested in, because once again, guys, they already have released the first episode of the cartoon series. They're going to be releasing new episodes, and your NFTs that you guys go ahead and mint are actually going to be put inside the cartoon series. So let's say that you go ahead and you mint an NFT, you mint one of these wheelies, and then you actually see it inside of the cartoon being used. It might actually bring it a lot more value. People might be more interested in actually buying or holding that type of stuff. And the Wheelies team is actually in contact with major TV networks on actually getting Wheelies put on television. And so if you guys are looking for an undervalued opportunity in the NFT space, I think that this is the biggest one that you can go for. I've already bought some of these. I'm holding some Wheelies as we speak because I believe that this thing has a lot of upside potential. Cartoon has only released episode 1. When they start getting into episode 2 and 3, I think that there's going to be a lot more people enjoying this. A lot more people are going to be interested. And then when you start seeing your own NFTs in the cartoon series, I think that a lot of people are going to find that highly valuable. And so if you guys do want to get access to this, you guys can go ahead and mint them today. The mint price is only 0.05 Ethereum. I will link the website where you guys can do that. It's going to be right here at this URL. All of it's going to be linked in the description. Go ahead and check these out, guys. I'm really confident this is going to be a solid NFT project, and the people that are investing into NFTs right now have an opportunity of making a lot of profit over the next couple months. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you found value in this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any of these amazing videos. If you guys want to join the Discord server or download my free ebook, or would also like to sign up for my VIP course, Signals, follow the trades that I take, links are going to be provided for you in the description for that as well. Once again, guys, if you guys want to get access to the Wheelies mint, links are going to be provided for you in the description. Find all of that exciting information. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.